Patty, do you have the agenda?
I do have the agenda. We can call the meeting to order, and I've already taken roll. We could start with number 3.
You're muted, John.
I apologize, everybody, for being so out of sorts this morning. Completely slipped my mind. So number 3 on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the September 16th meeting. Can I get a motion for that?
I'd make a motion, John.
Mike Roberts makes the motion. Got a second?
I'll second.
And any discussion, any changes to the minutes anybody sees? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Number 4, public comments. Do we have any comments from the public today? Don't see any. Okay. Item number 5 on the agenda, the Traffic Safety Committee reports. 5A, DOT Traffic Engineer Chad Hines.
Great. Good morning, everybody. I'll start off by going through what we got on the docket for next year's construction. I'll just give a brief little overview, and then I'll give you more information in the March meeting. On Highway 25 from Red Cedar River to 28th Avenue that we did this last summer here, we got a section of guardrail we're going to add down by the town of Dunn town hall there. We got a culvert issue down there with some washing and stuff, so we're gonna get that fixed up sometime here in the spring, and then that project will be done altogether finally. On Highway 12, we have the Wilson Creek tributary culvert replacement, which is on Highway 12 just north of Fleet Farm, north of the interstate, down a little dip there. That project's going to be detoured using 128 to 94 to 25. We'll also have to reroute the I-94 alternate route for that project from 128 down to the south to 29 to 25. That project will start right away in the spring and has to be done by June 30th. So it should be a fairly fast project, because once that project's done, then we've got 2 bridge replacements on Highway 79. The Coon Creek and the Clack Creek bridges, those are getting replaced, and those are going to start after July 6th, because we're going to be using Highway 12 and 25 and 170 for the detours. So we got a few projects in the area there. That's all we got on the state system next year. We do have a local project in the city of Menominee through the bill program, 21st Avenue from Highway 25 over to 9th, and then 5th Street from Sisters Court up to 21st Avenue. It's a 4-inch mill and resurface, road closed, local traffic only type of situation. Hasn't been awarded yet. Bid prices came in high, but it sounds like it's probably going to get awarded and go through. And then the only other project we have is the County B project from Highway 12 to 94. I can maybe let Dustin talk more about that later. That's a February letting. So that's all I got for construction. The other traffic items I have, we completed our Menominee traffic study that I've talked about last couple of meetings. The results of that came through that it's basically okay for the city to move the Highway 29 designation off of Main Street and push it up to 6th Avenue. So we're going to be working with them on getting that transition made here. I'm guessing it's probably going to take a year or two to get everything all sorted out because there's, payments and things like that that have to take place and all the signing and stuff. Another thing that came out of that was we can also close that northbound right turn at Broadway, Crescent, and Fourth, where we keep getting the Wisconsin Credit Union hit, which was just hit here less than a week ago now again. So we're gonna probably try and work with the city to maybe try and get that wrapped up here sooner rather than later. And then long term, we're gonna probably be making, it won't be with our resurface in 2028, but at that same intersection, we're gonna make some different operational improvements, restricting access and things like that. Probably, I mean, we're talking 15, 20 years out, but we'll make some big operational and safety improvements there. Otherwise, that's all I got. David alluded to the signing got done down at 85 and 0 back in October, so it sounds like we're good to go there. Anybody got any questions for me? All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you, Chad. Next up is DOT Law Enforcement Liaison, Rick Olig. I don't know, is that you on the phone, Rick?
Nope, I'm here on
Oh, there you
the report's pretty short. I did email it out last night. I'll just go over it briefly. Countywide numbers as of yesterday, 570 fatalities statewide compared to 573 a year ago. On the bottom of that, you'll note that it shows the roles of the people involved. Motorcycle drivers being involved in fatal crashes or being killed in crashes is down significantly, almost 30% from last year to this year. And same thing with the passengers. I think last year was a high year, but we're well below the average for this year so far. Some of that might be because I believe last year we had an early spring and motorcycles might have been out a lot earlier. Countywide crash numbers without cardiers are up, but the fatalities are down significantly. 5 last year, 2 this year, 5-year average being 7. I also sent a slide about the safe systems approach, which possibly in March, I'll do a little more on that, but just want to kind of reiterate to people that when people ask for changes or improvements at an intersection or even on a section of roadway, a lot of people think it's simply the speed, the 85th percentile, the speed study, but there's actually a lot more to that. And this happens not so much on the township level, but when you get above that, they try to take most of this into account because we know people are going to make mistakes, and we're just going to keep doing things to make the crashes less severe. A good example is we had a teen driver in Fond du Lac County hit the end of a bridge that doesn't have the I don't know what's actually called, but the guardrail part that's supposed to collapse. It doesn't have that, and since it's less than 400 VMT, they're not required to have it. But if that had been there, the kid would have walked away from the crash, according to the DOT people who looked at it. So just things like that, and I think they said the cost was like $1,500 per corner or $2,000 per corner. So something we're working on with the township there. And then the DRE schools, there are still openings on that. If any agency's interested, let me know. I can forward the full email to you. There's one in April and there's another one in October. The email explains the funding and everything. And just because I send you the email doesn't mean there'll be a follow-up from anybody. It's just for information. If you're interested, then you can make contact with Steve. We're just trying to get the information out there. Upcoming dates, Drive Sober Get Pulled Over started Wednesday, goes through January 1st, hoping most agencies will sign up for that through WISE grants. And then January, we have National Passenger Safety Week and vehicle recalls in March. And lastly, we have a driver's ed PowerPoint that's available for anyone to use, but it's geared more towards law enforcement. Not just for driver's ed, but for any time you need to go into a school or talk about teen driver safety. It's customizable. There's I think about 20 some slides in there. And you can find it on the Community Maps website under TSC resources. You do not need a login to find this. The first one is where the presentation is, and it can be downloaded. And then the next line below that is where the various resources, the videos, and where we got the information from is all listed there. So that's all I have, unless there are some questions.
Any questions for Rick? Nope. Thank you, Mr. Oleg. Appreciate it. Up next, Railroad, Mike Marks. Is he on the call today? Don't see him. So we'll move on to the next item. Highway Safety Coordinator, Sean McRoberts.
All right, since our last meeting, we have no fatalities to report. We had 82 total crashes handled by the sheriff's office. Of those, 29 multi-vehicle crashes, 53 single vehicle crashes, 29 crashes with injuries, and 35 total injuries in those injury crashes. We are participating in drive sober or get pulled over. Got the guys on notice to start enforcement efforts regarding that campaign. It's about all I have, other than to let you know Travis Mayer will be replacing me in January. I'm going to retire on the 13th of January. So this will be my last meeting. And again, Travis Mayer will slide into my position. So any questions at all on that?
Thank you, Scott, and congratulations on the retirement.
Appreciate it, John.
Up next, Highway Department, Dustin.
Just want to go through some of our 2023 projects that we have scheduled currently. So we're going to be continuing our last phase of County Road V from 1330th Avenue to County Road I. It's approximately a 2-mile stretch of highway towards Sand Creek area. So that will be probably started right away in the springtime once weather permitting. We will be doing our second phase of County Road Z, which is south of Downsville, from County Road C to 90th Avenue. That will be probably sometime in July that we would anticipate that project. That is a 3-mile stretch of roadway that we would be completing. We are doing a carryover project that was supposed to be done this year, but due to some design delays, we pushed the project off into 2023 on County Road Q and W, just south of Downing. We are going to reconfigure that particular intersection. It's currently a T configuration, but we will be putting a 35-mile-an-hour curb in there, and looking at probably doing that sometime in mid to late summer for that project. Last but not least, our County Road B project. We do have 2 particular projects on County Road B. We do have a STP urban project, which is from 1229 to I-94. That is going to be a LET project through the DOT. That is, like Chad said, going to be let here in February, early February. And then the B project, which is a local project through the LRIP program, which does have some state funding in it, from I-94 to Packard Drive, which we were looking at letting here late January. We do have some things to work through on the railroad side of things. Obviously, we are installing traffic signals at County Road B and Badger Drive, which is at Loves and Senex, just north of the interstate there. So there is a lot of coordination that goes with the railroad due to the close proximity. We have had delays on the railroad side of things. So we are looking at the possibility of delaying the project till 2024. But right now we are going ahead with a 2023 project start, but there could be a possibility due to some delays from the railroad. We may have to push that back 1 year. So we are waiting confirmation on the DOT to see if it's possible to extend it to 2024. Not an ideal situation, but unfortunately, there's some things that are out of our control. And we would like to make it as safe as possible during construction process. And then looking at shortly here, I will be submitting an RFP request to engineering firms to start the design process of County Road D and G by Jakes and Pioneer Bar up there in the town of Tainer. Looking at trying to improve some safety as well as some drainage issues up in that area. Looking at a 25 to 26 project construction at this time. Other than that, that's all I have on my end. Any questions?
Thank you, Dustin. Next up is the Highway Committee Chair, Supervisor Johnson.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. I just want everyone to be aware the county board will be voting on opening up all the ATV and UTV, all the county roads, all but a certain few of them. They'll be voted on either in the January or February county board meeting. So if you have any questions or concerns with it, let some county board members know. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Brian. Next on the list is Rick Hollister from the Menominee Police Department. Anybody from the Menominee Police on here? I don't see any, so we will move on to the next. Now we have the Wisconsin State Patrol.
Good morning. I will be taking over for Sergeant Anduzzi Bell. I recently took the Dunn County Sergeant position. So from this point forward, I'll be the one attending the meetings. As far as the State Patrol goes, we will be also involved with the drive sober, get pulled over campaign. Starting in January, we will be down to 7 troopers in the region as we have a 1 vacancy, and then 1 trooper will be at our academy for 6 months. Training the next class. We're going to continue to do aircraft details as weather permits, and we'll be focusing on the predictive analytics area of Highway 12, 29, and the interstate, as that seems to be the hotspot for the winter months for crashes. Other than that, that's all I have, unless anybody's got any questions.
Appreciate having you aboard, Brandon.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Welcome. Next is the Wisconsin DNR. Jamie McDermott is not here. So we will go on to the next. We have school administrators, Bill Yingst. Betty, Bill will not be here. Okay. Next up, Dunn County Chair Kelly McCullough. I don't see him either. And we have a community member representative here on the list is Ryan Howe. Did Ryan make it today? Nope. I keep asking because I'm not sure who's on the phone there. And so we'll go on to the medical emergency reports. 6A was the Red Cross, Jenny Legaspi. Also not here today. Next up, first responders, Shanna Knops. And also not here. We're moving right along. Mary Big from the Mayo Clinic Health System, Red Cedar.
I think she recently retired too, so we might need to find a new representative there.
Okay. We'll make a note of that. Thank you, Melissa.
Mhm.
Next up, KT Gallagher. Don't see her on.
This is Jeff Rupp from the Dunn County Health Department. I'm filling in for
Oh, there
KT
you go.
today.
Okay.
So I can give a quick update. Mainly our update, respiratory illness continues to impact our community, only to schools, but to businesses as well. We did have a recent death due to flu in an adult in Dunn County. Our positivity rate for the flu is at 35%, which shows significant community spread. 15% positivity rate for people testing for RSV in Dunn County. Our wastewater treatment data shows that we have an increase in our viral load. So not a surprise there. Dunn County continues to lag behind in vaccinations. Only 22% of Dunn County residents versus 31% of Wisconsin residents have received their annual flu shot. And just a reminder that it's not too late to get the flu shot, but do keep in mind it takes 1 to 2 weeks to get that full protection. Quick COVID update, the state contract with AMI for COVID vaccinations will sunset at the end of this month. People can still get their boosters through their physician or pharmacist, depending on their age and availability. The state and federal allotment of vaccine will be used sometime in 2023. After that, the vaccines will be privatized, just like the flu shot is. Treatment options are diminishing for the newest wave of the Omicron variants. So the state has a telehealth partnership to provide free evaluation and connection to some treatment via phone or online to get that prescription. So there's other ways you can, there's a website you can go to or call a number if anybody needs that. As far as that, I think that's all the updates from the health department. If anybody has questions, I'll take those now.
Don't see any. Thank you, Jeff, for that report. Disasters, Melissa Gilgenbach.
Hi there. We really don't have anything too much other than the severe weather that we've been dealing with for the last 3 days. We do have some citizens without power, some that have been without power since yesterday morning. So we're working with the power companies to see if we can't get those restored, quicker than the ones that went out last night in the night. Considering, warming shelters if this does continue. Yesterday, the temperature was a little better than it is today, so we weren't as concerned. But we are, considering that. And we're considering doing a disaster declaration for Dunn County, just so that maybe some of our townships, possibly the highway, would be eligible for some reimbursement for the life safety measures that they've been taking of removing the trees from the roadways, so ambulances, fire trucks, power companies and things can get through. So like I said, we're just looking at possibly declaring a disaster sometime today. And that's really all I have.
Anybody have any questions? Seeing none, thank you, Melissa.
Mhm.
Up next on the highway traffic safety topic is Captain McRoberts again.
Nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Up next, Denny Class from the Fire Department and EMS.
Not much on this end. Big thank you to the city and county plow units for keeping the roads opened up as well as they have. It has kept us in-house. We haven't been out on any major crashes, so thank you. Congratulations, Scott, on your retirement. Enjoy. And Brandon, welcome to the county.
Okay, thank you, Denny. And I see that the UW Extension person is Katie Wantock has transitioned, and so this position is vacant. And we'll make a note of that too, try to get somebody to the next meeting. Speaking of the next meeting, the next date is on St. Patrick's Day. March 17, 2023 at 9 a.m. And I will write it down in 4 places this time. And I guess we'll do a Zoom again for that. Seems like an easier thing to do if everyone's okay with that. And unless anybody has anything else, with my apologies for all the for being late. I know you're all busy. I guess we are adjourned.